Hey guys, I'm Coach Panda and welcome to my first TFT video. In this video, I'm going to discuss the problems that I see from Iron to Diamond and how to climb out of the division that you're stuck in. I watched some of my friends play different ranks and noticed some of the different mistakes that they're making in each elo. I'll keep this video short, sweet, and to the point, and there will be timestamps in the description below. Let's begin. The problems between Iron to Silver are generally the same. The biggest problem that I see is not knowing what the champions do. You're most likely still very new to the game and should focus on learning what all of the champions' ultimate abilities do and their relative strength level. It's almost impossible to play a game when you don't know all the weapons that you're being given to handle. If your only goal is to climb the rank ladder, I recommend that you start off learning how to play one composition. This will give you the chance to learn the strength of each unit and what goes into your comp and what it's strong or weak against. That way, you won't be overwhelmed by how many units and synergies there are in the game, and you can learn at your own pace. It can be really demoralizing when you're trying to learn a new game, and you're constantly getting stopped when you're just beginning. In Gold and Platinum, one of the biggest mistakes that I see is learning how to transition. For example, if you have a perfect item opener for cybernetics, but you're not given any of the units that you need to learn how to play your strongest board with what you're given until you come across the cyber units that you need for your composition. The second biggest mistake that I see in Gold and Plat is itemization. For example, if an item is not core to your composition, you shouldn't tunnel super hard on making that item if it leaves your other remaining items to be useless. Let's say you have a chain vest, cloak, sword, and bow as leftover items on stage 5-1. Many players would get baited here and see that the Giant Slayer is really good, but if you build it here, you'll be left with Swordbreaker as your other item, which many consider one of the worst items in the game. You should consider all possible item combinations that you can build here and which is the best for your team. Also, as a general rule of thumb, I never sit on more than 3 items at a time. Know which items are slammable and which aren't. Unless you're playing a comp that needs a very specific item, such as blue buff on Cassiopeia in a Vanguard Mystic comp, it is almost always better just to make a decent item instead of waiting and gambling for the perfect item. Doing this will save you a lot of health, and by focusing on strengthening these parts of the game, you should easily be able to climb into Diamond. Finally, the last thing we're going to talk about is how to climb out of Diamond. First of all, if you made it to Diamond, congratulations! You're in the top 5% of the ranked player base. Doing this was probably not easy for you, and you should be very proud of your accomplishment. But if you want to climb out of Diamond and into Masters or even higher, this will not be easy. It took me a lot of time and research to finally be able to make it into Masters. The absolute biggest problem that I see with Diamond players is that they usually mismanage their gold economy. They either overemphasize on generating more gold by trading too much of their health, or they don't focus on making enough gold. The general rule of playing your strongest board should apply at all times, but you should also take into consideration if doing so will hurt your gold economy, and if the strength of the better unit is worth the loss of making that extra 10 gold interval. Another example of how Diamond players usually mismanage their gold economy is that they tend to hold on to an expensive unit too early, just because they want it in their final composition. For example, let's say you're playing Dark Stars and you roll a Karma early in the shop at level 4. It might be worth it just to forget about her for now and pick her up later. Being a 3 cost, she is rather expensive to hold on to early, and she isn't that strong of an individual unit. Gold is very important in the early game due to it having a compounding effect. Also, make sure you know your level intervals. Every time you purchase XP, you're required to buy 4 XP at a time. If you level in an interval that isn't a 4, you essentially waste 4 gold to level. Sometimes it might be better just to wait until the next turn to level at the right interval so you don't have to waste an extra 4 gold. These are the common mistakes that I see in each elo. Also, since I'm still Masters, I'll wait until I hit Grandmaster or Challenger to talk about how to climb out of Masters. I have a lot more tips and tricks about how to climb, but I don't want to make this video too long. Please feel free to ask me anything in the comments, and I promise I'll respond to any questions you may have. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and peace.